Alright, good morning. This is going to be a short video. I just wanted to show some of the upgrades I was able to make to my Snapdragon Class A fighter. With this refit, I was able to increase the fuel capacity by a little bit, slightly increase the cargo capacity, and add another 2x1 hab. So I increased from 6 2x1 habs to 7. And we'll get down to the shipbuilder, take it apart, show you how I put it together, and then take it into combat and see how it performs.
Hey, what can I do for you? Sure, have at it.
Alright, we're in the shipbuilder. As you can see, the old cargo was 4,030. I've got it up to 4,100. The jump range is still going to be 26 light years. There's nothing that can be done to increase that short of dumping all of the cargo on the sides. Mobility stays at 100, top speed 150. As I was saying before, I had 6 habs and now I've managed to increase it to 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total hab space. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. Basically, I was able to shed some weight by getting rid of the Deimos wings on the side and reconfiguring the way the cargo was distributed throughout the ship. So I'll take it apart. I'll show you how I put it together, and then we'll see how it performs in combat. Alright, I got the ship taken apart. With this build, I'm going to start with the shipbed 200 landing bay. Behind it, we're going to attach a Deimos all-in-one berth 2x1. On the 4 corners, we're going to use an Acculander 11 landing gear. On top of that, we're going to put a Deimos mess hall 2x3. On top of that, we're going to put a Deimos battle station 2x2. And a Deimos all-in-one berth 2x1. For the engines, we're going to be using the SA 4330 from Slayton Aerospace. These are the most powerful engines on the Class A side. The White Dwarf 3015 engines are faster. These have a top speed of 150. The White Dwarf 3015s have a top speed of 180. However, the White Dwarf 3015 engines are pretty much useless when it comes to cargo capacity. They have no maneuvering thrust compared to these engines. And these are really good because they only have 2 max power, so you can have 6 of them total. So it really pushes up that amount of cargo that you can squeeze into the ship. So we have 3 on each side, and these can be configured in different orientations. So we're going to use the top one for the top. The middle one has to have the attach point on the side facing inward, and you'll see why here in a minute. And then the bottom one slopes up. So we'll connect those to the edges. For our reactor, we're using a Spiramac DC202. This is the most powerful Class A reactor in the inventory. It has a max power generated of 33. 40 is the highest, even on a Class C, so it's pretty close. It's not that far off. Our Helios 400 grav drive has a grav jump thrust of 27. It is the highest that's available for Class A's, and even with that, you can still only get 26 light year jump range. And when we get to the map, I'll show you there's a few systems towards the very end of the bottom of the map that are unavailable because you have to have 28 light year jump range to reach them. So if you have to, you can either delete some of the cargo or you just use a different ship for if you had to go down there for some reason. For our shield, we're going to use a 60S protector shield generator. And then for our cockpit, we're going to use a Cabot C4 bridge from Nova Galactic. On the bottom, we'll use our slim docker. Remember, these can flip upside down or right side up, depending on how you want to use it. We're going to put it on the bottom. This is the the ship for the most part, the basic design. Now, as you know, when you're trying to build ships with max cargo, you have to trim out all of the unnecessary like pieces, like wings and tails and any kind of aesthetic pieces, because every kilogram of mass that you use will take away from that. So I basically this is just I don't think there's any pieces on here that are just for aesthetics. Everything is actually used. So for the fuel tanks, I'm using a Titan 450 HE tank. And on the other side, I'm using a Titan 550 HE tank. And I did some calculations. I think it was like 244 fuel that I needed to jump from one end of the subtle systems to the other. And this gives me 270. So that's enough. But remember, that's with that aerodynamic, or with the astrodynamics skills. So if you don't have that, you're going to need more fuel. But I'll show you an easy way to do that. As far as the cargo, we're using a bunch of these 400 cm ballast cargo holds from Sextant. They're just going to sit on the sides like little wings. Now in the back here, there's 2 slots of space available, and I found that by just using one of them with this Caravel V102 cargo hold, it slots right in there. You could have a second one, but that puts me over the mobility down here. So with the weapons, with this particular configuration, I had to use all weapons that are just 1 tons. There's a couple of weapons on the... That's not right. There we go. There's a couple weapons in the Class A range that are 2 or 3 tons, but I've limited myself to using 1-ton weapons just to keep myself under the maximum mass. 1564. Excuse me. 1564 is the maximum mass for this ship before the mobility drops down to 99. But if you wanted to add higher weapons or more fuel, the easiest thing to do would be to start, well, let me get these on first. I'm using equipment plates for the last 3 weapons, so I can attach them to the top of the halves. So let's say you want to add some stuff, maybe add 2 2x1 halves instead of this 1, so that's 10 tons. 2 of them together would be 16 tons, so that would be 6 more mass that you would have to account for. So the easiest thing to do would be to take one of these 400 cm ballast cargo holds, delete it, and then add a 300 cm. Just make it smaller. Physically they're the same size, so it won't change the appearance. Now you have an extra 22 tons or 24 tons to play with, or 24 kilograms to play with. So that's the easiest way you just shed some of the cargo weight or capacity, or you can, if it's close, you can get this Cabot C4 bridge, and you can use one of the lower ones like the C3 or the C3X, and that would also increase the mass. That's probably the easiest way to do it, is just to get a smaller bridge. The crew stations stay the same, but it would free up about, I don't know, 5 or 6 tons if you needed that. But anyways, that's the easiest way to either reduce the size of the cockpit, or just dump one of these and put the smaller ones on, and that would increase or give you more mass to play with. This is probably the pinnacle of like Class A ships that I can make. The jump range is the only limiting factor, because there's just no way around it other than, because you'd have to dump a lot of these. Yeah, just to get to 28, 29, you'd have to dump like a whole bunch of them. Now you're down to like 2,000 cargo. So I found out that you can actually hit Control Z to correct mistakes, to go back. I didn't know that until recently. So thanks to the person in YouTube who recommended that. But this is, like I said, this is probably the best of the Class A ships that I can make as far as cargo, max crew, and its firepower. we'll accept that. And of course, as always, I'm sure the inside is going to be jacked up looking because the ladders never go where I want them, or the doors are never where I want them. Start off with the 2x1. You got 4 bunks. I think the cooking station is over here. There's a bathroom right here. Up here, these are probably my favorite habs, are the mess halls, because it's just like a big open area. You got the 2 tables. This would be like a common meeting area for people to just hang out, eat, do whatever they got to do. The kitchen's over here. You got a stove. I guess this is where the food storage is.
Is there a way to go faster than the speed of light? And none of that grav tech cheating?
This is another 2x1 hab.
Dusty.
And this is the battle stations where the crews will work during, space flight. All right, we'll take off, get into orbit. I'll show you what the cargo is with the payload skills and Samco on board.
We are cleared for liftoff.
We're in orbit. What next?
All right, if we look at our cargo over here with the payload skills and with Samco, we have 7,103 cargo, which is pretty damn good for a Class A ship. Shields 1458. I've got Omari on board, I think, and we're using all particle weapons. Let me make sure that he is on board. Yeah, Omari, Barrett, Sam, and Sarah right now. I forgot to pick up Vasco, but I guess it doesn't matter. Sorry if it lags a little bit. It does that when I'm recording video. So we're going to fly over to the Serpentis system.
Board's all green. Successful jump.
Now some of the parts I used require Starship rank 4, but you can downrank those parts to the whatever is available to you. You just, like I said, in the end, you're just going to have to sacrifice some of that cargo space. Like you have to use the engines, like the rank 1 engines.
I'll get to it, Dad. I promise.
This ain't my getting around to it, Tom. You understand?
Fine, okay.
Enemy's grab drive out of commission.
Whenever they lock on, hit the boost to break the lock. Get that asteroid out of the way.
Target's jump drive is down.
The shields are fairly relatively weak on Class A ships, so you gotta be a little careful. It's not kind of like face rolling your on the keyboard with the Class C ships.
Are you prepared to face judgment?
Damn! Down goes their grab drive.
Let's do one more. Is there any yeah, here we go. Hostile activity area down here.
shall be judged.
We've blown out their grav drive.
Your sins have caught up to you.
Damn it. Just rocks everywhere.
Enemy's grav drive disabled.
Anyways, it's like I said, it's basically the same ship as before, but I made the improvements with the. It just goes to show that if you keep tinkering with it, you know, you might think you've hit the limits of the design, but then you find something that you missed, or somebody will suggest something online that you find that it helps you out. So like I said, I was able to get that one extra hab, 2x1 hab, increase the cargo by 70 kilograms, and increase my fuel, and still be under my budget on the weight. So I was happy with the way that came out. Let me see something. We're gonna go back to Alpha Centauri real quick. So yeah, like I said, I'm happy with the way that came out. I use this design a lot just because it's the most efficient. You can build these types of ships without using any like extraneous pieces like wings and tails and whatever, you know, to make
Dottie,
it look,
we're
you know, the
asking
ship just
everyone.
looks
Sure.
pretty
How about
elegant
it?
without having a lot of extra pieces on it. So like if you see some of my other designs, like if you wanted a more conventional looking ship, you could, you know, build something like this. And this is a Class B, but you could retool this into a Class A ship easily. So, but this only has two habs, two 2x1 habs to play with. And I think the cargo is yeah, 1,300, so it's nowhere near as high as the other ship, and I think it's like the same size, so it's a little bit shorter length or width. But and then my main ship that I use is the Capybara, and I'm in the middle of another NG Plus, so I don't have the SAL 6830 engines, the most powerful engines yet. And when I do, I'll rebuild this into my Capybara Mark III ship. I was playing around with a UC shuttle and just to see how small I could make it. And it's basically like the Orca build that I just was trying to shorten. But I don't know if I'm too happy with that. And obviously the Chonky. But, oh, and this is the other one I was playing with, the smallest fighter. This one was pretty interesting because I got 1,800 cargo out of it. It's a Class B ship, but it's only 24 meters by 26 meters. It's very small. You can make it even smaller if you wanted by just deleting the two cargo things on the back. So it'd be 22 meters by 26 meters. So that's about as small as I can make a ship right here and still be, you know, realistic. Because, you know, I've seen a lot of guys do stupid things like, we're trying to make the ship as small as possible, so they'll do something like this. And they say, oh yeah, see, this ship is functional. We'll take that on the comment. It just looks stupid. I'm not going to do that. So, anyways, this is the awesome Possum. I hope you guys like it, and I'll chat with you later.